This is Dennis Shaver. He's a friend of mine and one of the most precise, smoothest pilots I've ever seen. And that's his weeks-old Extreme Flight Legacy Turbo Bushmaster. Keep in mind that this plane is just a few weeks old. Dennis is a master builder, but even when he does an ARF like this plane, they are done exactly right. One of Dennis's favorite sayings is to add light. I don't think Dennis has ever had a plane that didn't weigh less than the projected weight from the manufacturer. All that and some very talented fingers means that Dennis's planes just don't react to the wind like everybody else's. All of that precision in the shot means that Dennis can bring an airplane to the field and it looks like he's been flying it for years. Dennis is also one of those pilots that was born with very good depth perception. I want you to remember this big tree that Dennis passes in front of here. Dennis has been flying around that tree for years and years. We'll get back to that tree a little later in the video. Dennis can tear holes in the skies as good as anyone, but his control in low speeds, especially of such a big, heavy airplane, that really surprised me. Because of the clouds, we can see the wind pushing this plane back towards us. Dennis is usually so stable that without clouds, it doesn't look like the plane's actually drifting at all. This is something else Dennis does with a 140-inch wing. And keep in mind, this is pretty high because it's only a couple of weeks into flying this plane. When it's windy enough for other people to pack up and go home, Dennis plays with the wind. I can sort of do some of this with my planes, but none of them is as clean as Dennis does them. And here he goes up again to ride the wind coming back the other way. This kind of thing makes me nervous because I know with my planes, I'm not far away from becoming disenchanted with my broken airplane. Dennis has a DA-100 in his plane. It should come as no surprise that it's tuned perfectly. A couple of weeks after I shot this video, Dennis and another friend of ours was out, and the guy was taking pictures and asked Dennis if he could get a little farther out before he turned in to give him more time to focus. And this is where we get back to that tree. Now, Dennis has flown past this tree hundreds of times. In setting up for that photo, he went maybe another 24 inches too far out. The left wing caught some branches which destroyed the wing, and that threw the plane into the ground. When a big plane like this goes into the ground, it's never pretty. Well, Dennis can fix just about anything, but I think this one falls into the just about category. Dennis told me he had to use a thin piece of wood to hammer the dirt out from between the fins on the motor. Keep in mind that he wasn't going fast to start with, and there's nobody faster than Dennis at getting off the gas when things start going wrong. A couple weeks after the accident, I went out to the flying field, and people there were actually scared because Dennis had crashed. Dennis had been around this hobby for a long time. He knows that a crash now and then can just be part of the hobby, and it won't scare him away. Want to bet that he stays farther away from that tree now?